Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is the place where we take these really complex sources and distill the absolute most valuable, actionable insights for you.
And today, we're tackling a huge one.
A monumental one, really. We're looking at the very engine of your reality, your own mind. We're doing a deep dive into the profound, transformative power of your thoughts and beliefs.
And how they shape, well, everything. Your health, wealth, relationships, all of it.
Exactly.
Our main source for this is Dr. Joseph Murphy's classic, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And, this book is basically a cornerstone of the whole new thought movement.
Which is this idea that you can use these sort of spiritual or metaphysical laws for very practical self-improvement.
Right. It all centers on the generative power of belief.
So our mission today is pretty ambitious. We want to get past the general ideas and really extract the core mechanism of what Murphy calls the master secret of the ages.
Which is that incredible miracle-working power that he says is found inside your own mind.
Okay, so to even start, we have to grasp this fundamental duality he talks about.
Yes, this is the foundation for everything else. He splits the mind into two parts. First, you've got the conscious mind.
The rational part, the part that's thinking right now.
Exactly. Your active thinker. He calls it the gardener.
And then there's the second part.
The subconscious mind. This is the non-rational, totally receptive part. It's the engine room, the executor.
The soil.
The soil. Perfect. It doesn't reason or argue. It executes. It grows whatever seed it's given.
Which leads directly to the core law of this whole thing.
It does. Every single thought you consciously hold is a cause. And every condition you experience in your life,
good or bad,
is an effect. So if you want to change the effects, your circumstances, you have to change the cause. You have to change what the gardener's planting.
Okay, let's unpack that, because if the subconscious is just the soil, the executor, how does it actually work? Why is it so powerful?
Well, its power comes from its total lack of selectivity. It's perfectly fertile soil. It can't argue with the thoughts you impress upon it.
It has no critical filter.
None at all. So whether you feed it thoughts of failure and sickness or thoughts of incredible success and health, it just accepts them as true, and it immediately starts to manifest them into your reality.
Wow. That puts a huge amount of responsibility on the conscious mind, then. It has to be the watchman at the gate.
That's his exact phrase. If the subconscious accepts everything, your conscious mind has to be the guard, the filter, deciding which seeds get planted.
And that's why just trying to force a change often doesn't work, right?
Exactly. Because if your rational mind is saying, I am financially secure, but your subconscious is already filled with these old, deep-rooted fears like, I'm always going to struggle.
The subconscious goes with the stronger belief.
It goes with what's most deeply impressed. It doesn't judge. It just executes.
The stakes are just incredibly high. Murphy has this amazing analogy to illustrate this internal power difference. The magnetized man.
Oh, it's one of the best parts of the book. It's so clear. He says a magnetized piece of steel can lift, 12 times its own weight?
Right. But if you demagnetize that same piece of steel,
it can't even lift a feather.
And that's where it gets really important for you, the listener.
Because the magnetized person is the one who's focused, who believes in their goals, who's tapping into that power. They're lifting 12 times their weight in achievement.
And the demagnetized person is just stuck, limited by all their doubts and fears, paralyzed.
So the key takeaway here is this. To go from demagnetized to magnetized, to really change your external world, you first have to consciously choose and impress the internal patterns you want to see on the outside.
Okay, so if the subconscious doesn't respond to force, to what he calls mental coercion, how do we actually plant these new seeds successfully? What's the best state to be in?
Murphy is very clear that failure often comes from lack of confidence and too much effort. You can't just shout down the old beliefs.
Because the subconscious just reads that as conflict.
Right. It senses the struggle, the doubt. And if your desire is fighting a fear, the fear, which is usually an older, stronger picture, is probably going to win.
So we need peace, not a battle. What state gives us that?
The subconscious is most receptive when you're relaxed and passive. Murphy really emphasizes that drowsy, sleepy state right before you fall asleep.
Ah, that kind of floaty state.
Yes. In that state, the conscious filter is way down, so the new idea can just sink into the subjective mind without any friction. That's the way in.
And once we're in that state, we use what he calls auto-suggestion.
Deliberate self-suggestion. It's the practical tool. You consistently and calmly repeat a specific constructive thought.
So like for public speaking anxiety.
Perfect example. Instead of focusing on the fear, you deliberately repeat, I am speaking with poise and confidence. I am enjoying this. You do it over and over, and you're systematically replacing that old fear thought.
But it's not just words, is it? He really stresses the power of mental imagery.
Oh, absolutely. A mental picture is worth 1,000 words to the subconscious. The key is to hold a clear, sustained, complete mental image of what you want.
Like a blueprint.
The ultimate blueprint. The subconscious doesn't work with abstractions. It takes that detailed picture and mobilizes all its power to build it in reality.
He uses the example of Nikola Tesla, which is just incredible.
Phenomenal. Tesla would imagine his inventions fully formed, running perfectly in his mind. He'd refine them mentally before building a thing.
And they worked just as he envisioned them.
Exactly as he'd envisioned. It just shows the power of that sustained, detailed mental imagery. It's not just seeing it, it's knowing it's already complete.
And to really lock that in, he adds the thank you technique.
Yes, this is so important. It bridges that gap between just seeing something and actually feeling it.
So you express gratitude as if it's already happened?
Profound gratitude. It's about cultivating the emotional state of fulfillment, of peace. That powerful feeling is the language the subconscious understands. It's the signal that the job is done.
Let's shift to some specific applications. Let's start with well-being, with healing. Murphy makes a huge claim here.
He really does. He says the power to heal is already inside your subjective mind.
How so?
He argues the subconscious has this built-in life-forward and constructive tendency. I mean, it built your body. It keeps your heart beating 24/7 without you thinking about it.
So, from his view, illness is actually abnormal.
It's abnormal. It results from negative thinking, fear, and resentment interfering with that natural life principle.
So the goal isn't to create healing, but to stop blocking it.
You've got it. Remove the mental blocks. He shows that all healing practices, whether it's ancient rituals or modern prayer, they only work when the subconscious responds to faith.
Faith being the belief that it's already done.
The acceptance of the idea of perfect health. The mind accepts it, and the body, which is the servant of the mind, just follows orders.
And we have historical proof of this kind of mind-body control, like Dr. James Esdaile.
Yes, in the 19th century, Esdaile performed thousands of major surgeries using only mental suggestion for anesthesia, long before chemicals were the standard.
So that's just mind-blowing.
It really demonstrates the mind's power to control deep physical states when the suggestion is accepted.
Okay, so if the subconscious is so constructive, why are so many of us stuck in fear? It seems to be the biggest obstacle.
Murphy sees fear as this massive internal barrier, and he points out that most of our fears are just self-created thoughts. They're not real.
So if you fear failure, you're literally telling your subconscious to create failure for you.
You are. He gives two great strategies to neutralize it. The first is action to conquer fear. He borrows from Emerson. Do the thing you are afraid to do, and the death of fear is certain.
You have to walk toward it.
You have to.
Yeah.
And the second is the great law of substitution. You recognize the fear thought, and you immediately systematically replace it with its positive opposite over and over until the old thought just runs out of energy.
And this ties directly into forgiveness, which he frames as an antidote to basically self-poisoning.
It's not about letting someone else off the hook. He sees resentment and hatred as these emotional toxins. They don't hurt the other person, they just create chaos in your own subconscious.
Leading to anxiety, even physical problems.
For sure. So forgiveness is just enlightened self-interest. You're choosing your own mental peace and health over holding on to that destructive energy.
That reframing is so powerful. Okay, shifting gears. Let's talk about prosperity, about wealth. He's very clear this isn't just about hard work or luck.
Not at all. He says wealth is, fundamentally, a subconscious conviction. If you're always thinking about poverty or you believe successes are other people, you're cultivating a mental disease.
But it's hard to just say, I am wealthy, when your bank account says you're not. The conflict is too great.
It is. The subconscious will reject it. So you don't just use the words. You have to cultivate the feeling of wealth.
How do you do that when the evidence is contradictory?
You use visualization in that drowsy state. And you don't just visualize stacks of money. You visualize the consequences of wealth, the peace of mind, the security, the freedom. You have to feel the emotion of it now.
And that continuous feeling creates a wealth consciousness.
Which then attracts wealth. It's like compound interest on your feeling of abundance.
And what do we need to avoid? What are the big blocks?
Two big ones. First, stop what he calls negative mental check writing. Casually saying, I can't afford that, or I'm always broke,
You're just reinforcing lack.
directly impressing it on the subconscious. And second, never ever feel envy towards someone else's success. Envy puts you in a negative state and reinforces the idea that success is scarce.
Instead, you celebrate it.
You celebrate it, knowing that the same universal abundance is available to you too.
This all brings up an interesting question about what success even is. If it's not just about money, what is it?
For Murphy, true success is successful living. It means long periods of peace, joy, harmony, and happiness. It absolutely requires inner peace of mind.
So getting rich by screwing people over is not success.
Not true success, no. It has to be balanced.
And he actually gives 3 very practical steps to get there.
He does, and they're great. Step 1, find what you love to do. Passion is the engine. Specialization. Become an expert. Be the most knowledgeable, skilled person you can be in that field. Mastery is key.
And step 3 is altruism.
Yes. Make sure your goal serves humanity in some way. That completes the circuit. It creates a flow of giving and receiving.
That's a really comprehensive framework. Okay, we've covered the mechanics, the techniques, and the applications. Now we need to take a step back and add some critical interpretation here.
Absolutely. Because while these principles are incredibly empowering, it's important to view them with some balance.
Right. For instance, let's say I do everything right. I visualize I feel wealthy. How much can that subconscious conviction really overcome, say, systemic disadvantages or a really tough economic environment?
That is the crucial question. And while Murphy's work is focused on the internal, we have to acknowledge that external factors, socioeconomic status, education, systemic barriers, they are real. They do have a significant impact.
So the inner work gives you the resilience and direction.
But it doesn't always magically remove the external hurdles you still have to navigate and overcome.
And the second point of critique is around mental health. Murphy's framework is very positive, but sometimes visualization and suggestion alone aren't enough for, say, deep trauma or clinical conditions.
Exactly. We know today that multifaceted approaches are often needed. That might include therapy or medical help. The idea is to use this constructive force within, but sometimes you need an expert to help clear the really entrenched blockages first. It's about balancing belief with a realistic approach.
That balance is key. But when you zoom out, the core message here is still so deeply empowering.
It is. The main takeaway is that you really are the captain of your soul. The subconscious is this perfect servant that will manifest whatever your conscious mind truly accepts as true.
So we want to leave you with a final thought, and this one comes straight from the book. Murphy describes the subconscious mind as being timeless, ageless, and endless.
So if your mind never really grows old, if aging is just the dawn of wisdom, a new chapter,
what does that free you up to do? Regardless of your age right now, what new, ambitious project, what field of study, what great achievement would you instruct your timeless subconscious to guide you toward next?
now is the time to make that choice, to plant that seed. Choose life, choose love, choose health.
Choose happiness.